All right.
Also, I have another question.
Yes.
Why you always talk down on black people?
You give me that. I don't talk down on black people. Give me an example. Are you
Like
black?
you always, like you always call them.
Are you black?
Yeah, I'm black.
Oh, no wonder it's Joel. Oh, because if it was white, it would have been Joel. And so, what do I say about black people to make you think I'm talking down on them?
So we need slavery back and stuff like that.
I didn't say we needed slavery back. When did I
I
say
was
that?
watching one of your interviews with Big Herc.
I'm
You
sorry?
said that we need to bring slavery back.
Oh, what I want to do is start a plantation so I can put the blacks, not all, but most on there, so I can teach them to be responsible human beings again, because most blacks are not responsible. They rely on the government, they blame white people, they are morally bankrupt. And so I want to help them come back to character. Anything wrong with that?
Yeah, but the reason why a lot of black people rely on the government is because there was a history of they didn't really have much back in those days, so they rely on the government.
But that's not true.
That is true.
No, I grew up on a plantation, and blacks were doing very well when they thought and did for themselves. But when they gave up doing for themselves and started believing the lies from the black leaders, so-called leaders, and relied on the government, that's when they went to hell in a handbasket. But before that, blacks were doing very well. Who told you that, what you said?
From history.
From history?
Yes, from history.
Where you get that type of history from?
From the books and stuff.
But they lied to you.
No, it didn't. It's true.
It's not true.
Why is it not true?
Because prior to the civil rights movement, black people took care of themselves. It was abnormal to have a leader over you. They led their own lives.
But the leaders took them out of, made things easier for them, they gave them civil rights and stuff.
What type of civil rights did they give them?
The freedom to vote.
And what good is that doing them?
They can vote for the leaders they want.
But what good is that doing them to vote in black people? Because it hasn't helped the blacks at all. It made them worse. The people they voted in got rich, but the voters got poor. They became poor. They didn't get better. They got worse.
Well, at least they had the ability to vote.
But what good is it just to vote if it's not helping you?
That's a good question, but you still have the ability to vote.
But what good is that doing them? They're voted in corrupt people. If you look at the black community, it's gotten worse. If you look at the black family, it's gotten worse. Out of wedlock births, out of control, crime out of control. The black got worse under the so-called.
But the crimes is due to white supremacy.
What do you mean by that?
They make laws that put black people down,
So white supremacists make laws that causing blacks to commit so much crime?
Yeah.
How do they do that? What type of law?
They create laws I forgot, but I know they created laws to keep black people down. So
Like what?
I can't really pinpoint the law they created, but I know.
That's so insane. It's hard for me to believe that you believe that. That doesn't even make sense. I don't even know. A crazy person wouldn't even believe that.
No, it's true. You can go
So
research.
Why didn't that keep? Have you ever heard of Oprah Winfrey?
Yeah, Oprah Winfrey. Yeah.
Why did it keep her down?
Because they let certain people make it, and certain people don't make it.
They let certain black people make it?
Yeah.
Who let them make it?
The people in power,
And you ever heard of Barack Obama?
I heard of Barack Obama, yeah.
Why did they let him make it?
because he knew the right people.
Have you
Well,
ever heard of LeBron James, the tennis player?
You mean the basketball player?
Yeah. You ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Have Chris get the phone for me. How they let him make it?
Well, that's different. That's not. I'm talking about like. That's different because he's a basketball player. He's not like a politician or something. I mean, like.
But why didn't the white supremacist people hold him back? Why did they let him make? Could they have stopped him too if they had wanted to?
I guess, yeah.
So you're not thinking this through. You've been brainwashed, man. You need to think for yourself. They've been lying to you.
I do think for myself.
But all the
I do
stuff.
think for myself.
But to believe that so-called white premises is causing black people to kill and rob and steal, and they let certain people get by, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's not white supremacy. White supremacy is not like the main reason, but it's one of the reasons.
What other reasons?
No, maybe the lack of father in the home.
Maybe that's the number one reason.
No, that's part of the reasons too.
But what does that have to do with white supremacists?
What does what have to do with that?
The father's not in the home with the mothers and children. How does
they created a law to like keep the black men out of the families
who created that law?
back in the 60s?
Who created that?
The government.
You know who created those laws? Want me to tell you?
Yeah, who did it?
The Black Civil Rights Movement and the Democratic Party. They decided when they were having a so-called Black Civil Rights Movement, they decided to sell the blacks to the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party allowed the blacks to lead them to hell.
But it wasn't only the civil rights activists.
Right, it was the white liberal Democrats as well.
And the Republicans too.
I'm sorry?
And the Republicans too.
No, the Republican Party came about as a result of the Democratic Party not allowing blacks to be a part of it before the Civil Rights Movement. It was the blacks and whites who started the Republican Party.
But do you think the Republican Party is evil?
I think
they did a lot of things to black people too.
No, it's the Democrats who did it, not the Republicans. You got it backwards.
The Democrats were just as bad as the Republicans.
No, the Democrat was bad and still are. They hate black people.
So do the Republicans too. They both hate black.
Why do you say Republican? Where's your proof that the Republicans hate black people?
But where's your proof that the Democrats hate black people?
They lie to them. They pretend there's such thing as racism. They give blacks free stuff like affirmative action, reparations, and tell them that they love them by giving them free stuff. They encourage immorality in the black community. They don't believe that the blacks are able to think and do for themselves. So where's your proof about the Republicans?
I just know that the Republicans they didn't try to help black people at all.
I just told you the Republican Party was started by blacks and whites.
Yeah, but then the white Republicans didn't like the black people.
That's not true. Where's your proof? Hold on, buddy. Hold on. Let me take a quick break. Is this guy joking or what? Huh? He's 18. Back in a moment. Out of Florida, a first-time caller, 18 years old, smoked pot, been brainwashed about what's happening in America today. It's so unfortunate. But this is what's happening in the public schools today and in the homes. Joel.
Yeah.
Are you on antidepressant medication?
No, I don't take any drugs.
Oh, okay. And so, I don't know. You've been brainwashed, buddy, and I'm sorry that It's happened to you?
But I think you've been brainwashed too.
What, about what?
Like you always talk down on black.
Like what, for an example?
You know, you tell them that. I don't know. I can't like quote what I forgot, but like I've heard some bad things that you have said about black people.
So now you have a chance to ask me about it. I'm here. What have you heard that you believed?
You said that. I forgot, but I watch a lot of your videos, so
You did what?
I watch a lot of your videos.
Right. And did you find anything in watching my videos? Have you seen anything that I've said about black Americans that's not true?
A lot of things you say is not true.
Like what? Like what?
So I can't really like go back.
You
It's
can't,
hard for me to like, go back.
I'm sorry?
I don't really remember, so I don't.
Well, I want you to, when you think of something, jot it down and call me back and show me something or tell me something that I've said about most black, not all, but most black Americans that's not true, all right?
All right, yeah.
So call me back once you can think of something. But you've been brainwashed about America. You love America?
I love America. Yeah, I do.
And what do you love about it?
I can do a lot of things here in America than other places.
Are you black?
Yeah.
So why is it that you can do it, but majority of blacks can't?
I'm just saying that certain people can't go far in life due to white supremacy.
Why not? You can. You're black. Why can't they go far in life?
I mean, like, there's certain people who don't want them to succeed in life, you know?
What?
There's certain people who don't want them to succeed in life.
Do they want you to succeed? The white supremacists, they want you to succeed or fail?
Well, I don't really know any white supremacists.
So then how do you know what you're saying is true then?
Because I've seen people who have experience. I know people who have experience.
Listen, let me.
Trying to get a job, but they can't because they're black.
And they told you that?
Yeah.
But how do you know what they told you is true?
Because I know them.
But how do you know they're not lying to you? They got issues, but they're telling you that they can't get a job because they're black. Why would you believe that?
Because I know them.
So let's say that if they were capable, let's say they can't get a job because they're black. Why can't they do their own thing?
Because they're young. They don't have money.
How, like your age?
Yeah.
Amazing. Don't believe them. They're lying to you.
Why not?
Because if you can get one, they can get one too.
I guess, but you know, sometimes some people, you know, in America we still have racism. So
No, you don't have racism. No such thing.
how is there no such thing as racism?
Because it doesn't exist. It's either you deal with good or evil. You deal with right or wrong. There's no such thing as racism.
But how come black people are getting shot because they're black?
No, they're getting shot because they have no moral values. They're shooting one another because they have no character. It has nothing to do with because they're black. They hate one another and they hate others.
There was a guy in a few weeks ago who died, and he obeyed the cops. He was obeying the cops, and he still got shot.
But how do you know that?
Because I heard it in the news.
Don't believe the news. It lies to you too. That's how they control the blacks.
No, it was literally on video. He was like obeying the cops, but he still got shot.
I don't know that story, so I haven't seen that, but I wouldn't believe it if I were you. But anyway, here's what I want you to do, Joel. Jot down some things that you disagree with me about concerning Black Americans, and call me back, and I'll talk. I'll go over them with you.
It's been nice talking to you.
You too, buddy. But don't believe the lie that you're hearing. The blacks are suffering because of the lack of moral character. They don't have families in their homes. Their mothers are setting them up to fail.
All right, nice talking. All right.
All right, call me again, Joel, and stay off the pot.
All right.
All right, buddy. Talk to you. Mason, 18 years old. Last year high school, don't believe in God, been brainwashed. And yet you send your kids to these schools. That's mind-blowing to me. You send them so you deserve what you get. Dwight. Hey, first time caller out of Boston. Dwight, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How you doing?
All is well, Dwight. How you?
I'm okay.
Good.
But my thing is that I've just started recently listening to you, and before I started listening to you, I was watching some of your videos before with your guests on there and stuff like that. You interviewing these people, and I'm listening to you, and first let me just say I don't cuddle Black people when they be reaching and stuff like that. But you, as I've been listening to you, how you talk about Black people, to me, I feel that you like be degrading Black people, like you like have like I don't want to say hatred, but it's like some type of hatred or some type of cognitive thinking about Black people. You know what I'm saying? If I'm saying that right. But I don't know. I'm just wondering why you have such a mentality towards Black people like that, like your own race.
I say not all, but most, right? But what have I said about most Black people that's not true?
What have you said about most? Wow, dude. Wow, man. Really, dude. Let's, okay, hold on a second. I don't even know if I have time.
Oh, God.
Really, my man. Listen. Black people in the household. Oh my God. It's a lot of stuff, man. I mean, the Black people in the household. Let's start with the household stuff, with the structure of the household, stuff like that. I've known Black people, who come from single family homes, who went on to colleges and stuff like that, graduated, went on to college, became successful and stuff like that. Your idea of the household that I mean, like, granted that a lot of people do struggle coming from single parent households and stuff like that, but to be like all and to be negative about,
I don't say all. I said not all, but most. But so far, you haven't told me anything that I've said about most Black people that's not true.
let me see.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think of a video, but I can't really get one right now off my top of my head. It's just
So you're not able to think of one thing that I've said about most Black people and it's not true. You can't think of one thing?
I've seen you, heard you say most Black people.
I always say not all, but most.
I'm I can't recall. I can't recall that, my man. I mean, if you want to say you were saying it, man, I can't recall a moment, a time.
And the reason that you can't, and I do appreciate your call, Dwight, but the reason you can't, because I've never said anything about most black people that's not true. I make sure that what I'm saying is the truth, because I want black people to wake up and come back to common sense and to think for themselves. I want the men in the black community to return to their natural state, because black women and children need to be led by the men. And I want that order of God, God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, woman over children. And that's the only thing that's going to work for anyone, but especially black people. So I'm trying to get them to return to the natural order of things.
They can't. Okay. My thing on that right there.
Hold that thought, Dwight. Let me take a quick break, all right? Hold on. I got to take a break. You hear the music. And I want to finish up with Robert, a first-time call out of Boston. I mean Dwight, not Robert. I don't know. It doesn't even look like Robert. It says Dwight. I'm black and slow. But Dwight disagreed with me about most black people, but he can't think of anything right now. And I just wanted to give him a chance. Hey, Dwight.
Yo, you see what I'm talking about, man?
Dwight.
You see what I'm talking about, dude? That's exactly what I'm talking,
man. What? What?
I saw you doing me like that, right? Robert. I look like a Robert. How do I look like a Robert?
No, I said that I'm looking at the board. It says Dwight, and there's no name Robert on the board. I don't know how I came up with Robert.
You said Robert.
But it was a mistake.
You said I look like a Robert. I look like a
No,
Robert.
I said that I don't know how I come up with Robert. There's no Robert on my board right now. I said Robert from Boston or something like that. But listen, Dwight.
Yes.
You said to the the guy that answered the phone, did you say Jesse is like a coon and like? No, Jesse is a coon, and that I'm like the KKK.
Yeah, I feel your behavior, your mentality, dude, is coonery, man, towards your own people, dude.
In what way? In what way?
I've never heard like this. I personally, okay, as long as I've lived in my life.
How old are you?
My life, okay, and I'm up there, all right. I'm up there. I've never heard nobody ever, besides any person that was prejudiced towards any white person that was prejudiced towards black people, any other race towards black people, but themselves or someone towards their own race, man. It's just, I've never heard no one like you. I've never heard no one like you. I'm not understanding. I had to question myself, like why, like where does the animosity come from? As you say most people, which is I mean, like, that's still like you're like cutting it down to like 80%.
Well, I say not all, but most. But what have I said that's not true? Were you able to come up with one thing?
I went to commercial and everything, so we going back on the topic. So, none of the head. I mean, like, going back to that. No, not right now, man.
So if you can't think of one thing that I've said about most black people that's not true, would your conclusion be that Jesse is trying to point black people back to the right way? That he cared? Would it be that Jesse loved them enough to tell them the truth?
Not in your fashion, man. Not in your fashion, man. Not in your fashion.
What do you mean? What do you mean not in my fashion?
Not the way. No, I can't. Nah. I can't really agree with you like that, man. No, I can't really sit here and really agree with you like that.
But what do you mean not in my fashion? I'm just telling the truth with love.
I can't do that to myself, man.
What do you mean?
I can't do it to myself because, man, it's just it's I mean, the way you put down black people, man.
But if I'm not saying anything that's not, if I'm not saying anything that's untrue, why is that a put down?
Because they're not true.
Like what? You can't name one thing that's not true, but yet you call it a put down. Why do you call it a put down?
First of all, like this. This ain't even right.
Come back to your phone, Dwight. Dwight, come back to your phone.
Black people. Hold on a second. Yeah,
Come back to your phone so we can hear you.
To be like first of all, there's no racism. Black people, there's like no racism towards black people.
There's no
right
racism, period. That's a made-up word.
Oh,
but how is that a put down, though?
Oh my goodness.
How is that a put down?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. I wasn't even trying to be on all day, man. My goodness.
Do you smoke pot, Dwight?
There's no such thing. What?
Do you smoke pot?
Why?
I just want to let you know.
Yes, I do. Why? Yes, I do. Why?
You do smoke pot?
Yes, I do. What's it got to do with the topic?
Rest my case. I can almost tell now when a person smokes pot.
Wait. Hold on a second. How does that? What does that mean? What are you talking about? You rest your case on what? What? That
pot lower your consciousness.
What are you degrading by you degrading black people? What are you talking about? How do you rest your case?
I said
you
pot.
Just basically by saying you rest your case, that proves my point more than it proves your point.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Because you just went, I rest my case.
Right.
So, just because that's how I smoke pot?
Yeah.
A lot of people smoke pot. What does that mean?
It's not, it lower your consciousness.
A lot of white people smoke pot too. What are you talking about?
I know that. I can tell most of the time with white people smoking too, so that's why I asked a lot of white people, do you smoke pot? Because when you smoke pot, it lowers your consciousness. You're not able to see clearly.
Hold on a second. Who said I was smoking pot right now?
You said you smoke pot. I asked if you smoke pot, and you said yes.
Okay, so first of all, now we're getting off topic, but let's do this first. First of all, you asked me if I did. That's number one.
Right, and you said yes.
I did. So that doesn't mean that I'm doing it right now.
I didn't say you were doing it right now.
So that's that.
No one said you were doing it right now. I just asked, do you smoke it? And you said yes.
Going back to my subject, we're going back to the subject of when you said, I rest my case, and I'm trying to figure out what does that mean?
That means that when you smoke pot, you're not able to think in a higher consciousness. It lowers your consciousness.
So what's that got? So I'm not understanding this.
I don't know how to explain that any better, but let me tell you, I got to run, but I do want to. I want.
I'm trying to figure out
Dwight.
What does that got to do with me? What does that mean? Got to do with me calling in and telling you that I feel that the way you speak about black people is degrading, man.
No, the point is that you have.
You say there's no such thing as racism.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
It's either good or evil, right or wrong. If a person has anger, they're on the side of evil, and those who have been born again of God has overcome anger, and they're on the side of good.
Okay, so all right.
Are you a Christian?
No, I'm not.
Are you atheist?
Yes, I am.
I'll rest my case.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Just think about an atheist smoking pot.
How is that? What does me being an atheist got to do me anything about there's no such thing as racism?
Because you can't see, you're in darkness. But listen,
I'm
do
in
I?
dark- How am I in darkness? How
Because,
am I in darkness?
because Satan is your daddy. You can't see. You're not in the light of God.
If I'm an atheist, that means I don't believe in the devil, right?
No, that means you are of the devil.
No, it means that I don't believe in entities. That's what it means. I don't believe in devil. I don't believe in Jesus. That's what it means.
No, it means that you don't believe in God, but you do believe in Satan.
Okay, all right. You might have to look that up. You might have to Google that up.
Yeah,
but-
you have no other choice. You serve one or the other. Is whether you realize it or not. Either you've been born again of God, or you are still of Satan. Because all who are born in sin. So
No,
until
man.
you're born again of God, Satan is your daddy.
We just went to that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that.
But you might not believe it, but it's true.
That's not true. That's not true.
Uh-huh. Oh, you're
That's
of
true.
your daddy, Satan. But I got to run, Dwight. Call me again, man. I like talking to you, all right?
All right, man.
Thank you, Dwight. Amazing. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.